everybody? Welcome to Frontline Football. This is the first week that we will be doing Trend of the Week. But it was Trend of last week, but no one cares because we can't get the news out in time. Okay, so let's talk about this new trend. It's something that goes by the name of devious licks. You may have seen them in your school. You may not have. It's different for everybody. But I know whenever I went, there was places where, let me just explain my story first. I was going to the restroom, trying to have a normal day, and all of a sudden, I go to wash my hands like a normal freaking person, and I'm like, okay, let me just get some soap. There's no soap in the soap dispenser, because someone stole it. They're like, oh, okay, there's another soap thing, let me just go over that one. There's no other soap thing there, somebody took it off the wall! So, these devious looks are getting out. There's also no paper towels in this restroom, too. Somebody stole a mirror from one of the restrooms. Like, there was just stuff being stolen, every single day. But hey, I found out that the place where I was not as bad as some parts in the district, because even some parts of the area, where even one story that I heard of, somebody stole an entire freaking smartboard. You know those little whiteboard electronic things that teachers have? Yeah, somebody stole one of those. They just went there middle of the night, got their handy-mandy tools or Bob the Builder, freaking disassembled that thing and put it into their car. It was insane. I couldn't even wash my hands. Some teachers were scared about people stealing stuff from their classroom. It was insane that week. So welcome to Frontline Football, your one place for all the news, rumors, updates, and highlights, and roll the intro.
Alright, guys, we're gonna be doing predictions. Now, this is gonna be weird, but we're gonna start in the middle, go to the right, and then go to the left. It's weird, but it's blame the Texans for it. So our teams is the Texans, Panthers. Since you're the Texans fan, go ahead.
Okay, so with this matchup, I gotta be thinking logically here. The Panthers are 2-0, the Texans are 1-1, and the Texans are starting their new quarterback in Davis Mills. Now, I gotta give this one to the Carolina Panthers here, because I think Davis Mills will struggle in his first start. I don't think he'll do as bad as some people are saying they will, because he did have 101 yards, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown in the Browns game. But I don't believe that he's going to just come out of the gate firing, because he is a project quarterback. So I think that the Panthers' defense, especially being that underrated, will be way too much for Davis Mills to handle, and will make a mistake down the stretch that loses the Texans the game. So I think it will be close, but Carolina will be winning in H-Town that day. I'm going to hand this one off to Jack, because Sam Darnold used to be his quarterback.
I'm also going to go with the Panthers. To give the Texans credit, each week they impress me. They do something that I didn't think they'd be able to do. This week they kept it kind of close with the Browns until Tyrod went out. But Carolina's defense is really good. I didn't expect it to be really good really fast. I thought it would take more time, but they're coming out of the gate really fast. They've done a great job, especially with the pressures, Brian Burns. I think ultimately against a rookie third-round pick, that's going to be a lot to ask of Davis Mills to overcome in this game. Ultimately, I'm going to give it to Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers here. What are your thoughts, Zach?
Panthers. The Texans suck, but they've actually kept close with teams. The Browns, and they beat out the Jags, but it's the Jags. But the Panthers have a great pass rush, like Jack says. Sam Darnold's actually really looking good. CMC's starting to come into his role on this team, and he's not the only person that can do something on this team. So I have the Panthers. Our next matchup is the Buffalo Bills versus the Washington football team. Jack, you can go ahead with your take.
I'm going to go with Buffalo here. Washington was in one of the strangest Thursday night games I've witnessed in my life, and they barely escaped against the Giants. Buffalo's a little tougher than the Giants. Now, I don't think Buffalo's nearly as good as they were last year. We'll see if they can pick it up, specifically Allen and Diggs, but overall, I think Buffalo's offense is way better than the Giants. I don't think Buffalo is going to give away the game like the Giants did. I think ultimately Buffalo is just the better team, and I don't trust Taylor Heineke 100% quite yet. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta go with the Buffalo Bills here because I think after that Thursday night matchup against the Giants, which was so weird how everything unfolded, I don't really see the football team as a contender now, especially because they have no quarterback on that team. I think that they're going to put up a good fight against the Bills like they always do, but I don't think that they're going to be winning and that the Bills will move to 2-1. Zach, your thoughts?
I have the Buffalo Bills beating the Washington football team. The Bills, their offense has not been too good, but their defense has been really solid. They shut out the Miami defense, and you're basically going against a similar quarterback to Tua, which is a really not solid player, but is a good game manager. So I think that they can do really well against them and this Bills defense with Gregory Rousseau being a pass rusher on this team with 2 sacks already in his rookie career. I think he could win defensive rookie of the year, and I think the Bills can get the dub here. All right, our next matchup is the Cleveland Browns versus the Chicago Bears. Josh, take this one.
I gotta go with the Cleveland Browns here. Now, they did struggle against Houston, but you also gotta remember, the Bears are starting Justin Fields. Now, you may believe in Justin Fields in the comments section, but I don't think that I'm going to give him the rookie treatment here. I don't think he's going to be firing off day one. It's going to take him some time to get into his role. He's going to have a great game. Don't get me wrong. He's going to play above his potential. But I think that the Browns' pass rush has shown, even with the Texans, that they're going to make a mistake down the stretch of the game. And he's going to show one of those rookie mistakes like all the others have, like Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence. He's going to make a mistake, and he's going to do one misstep. And because he's facing against the Browns' defense, that misstep is going to lose the Bears the game. So I have the Cleveland Browns winning this one here. Zach? Zach?
I have the Browns. I think the Browns have a really good pass rush. Their secondary is a little bad, but they only have to cover Darnell Mooney and Allen Robinson. Basically, sometimes Darnell Mooney, no matter what game. But I think the Browns can get a really solid win against a team that's not the best, but still. Jack?
I'm going to have to go with the Browns here as well. I felt like the Bears have a possible chance of winning just because of the unexpectedness of what Fields will bring to the Bears offense. But overall, I think the AFC North right now is so competitive. I don't think the Browns can afford to drop a game. And while they lost Jarvis Landry, they're getting Odell Beckham back. And they have Clowney and Myles Garrett 100% healthy on the edge. And mix that with the Bears' mediocre O-line, and it may not end well for Fields. I think he's going to be good, but the O-line's not going to hold up against Myles Garrett.
Alright, our next matchup is probably the easiest matchup to predict this week. Cardinals, Jags. I'll start us off. Cardinals. They have the best team. They're the better team in this matchup. Kyler Murray is going for MVP, and he might win it if everything goes right. So, I say that the Cardinals are winning. Jack?
The Cardinals. I don't believe in the Jags, at all. Chandler Jones has another bad O-line he gets to play against that he'll be able to take advantage of. Kyler Murray's been going off, and overall the Jags have really shown nothing to get any sort of chance of upsetting the Cardinals here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta go with the Cardinals here. I don't see how the Jags can upset the Cardinals in any way. Now, do I believe the Titans, Colts, or Texans could upset? Yes, because they've actually shown that they can hang with the best. The Jags can't even beat the Texans. They can't beat the Broncos. So what can they beat? Alabama, a high school football team? They're not winning this game. I'm sorry to say it, Jags fans, but your record, you're going to have 18 straight losses. You are going to be the worst in mediocrity that the league has ever seen. You may even be the first team to go 0-17 if this keeps going on, because Urban Meyer will probably leave you in the middle of the season like he always does to every single franchise that he's with. So, yeah, Cardinals here by a lot.
I think Kyler Murray's going to throw 5 touchdowns, and I think he's going to have 500 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. That's my prediction. All right. Our next matchup is the Baltimore Ravens versus I almost messed up my words. The Detroit Lions. All right. Josh, take this one over.
It's hard to gauge where these teams are going to go because they're so inconsistent. But I got to give it to the Ravens here. They just came off of beating the Chiefs. But I can see the Lions winning this game, especially because the Ravens are injured to heck and back. So, Lions could win, but I got to go with the Ravens right now because of how good their team is looking. Jack?
I'm going Ravens. I've seen something. I was very impressed with the Ravens beating the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. For the first time ever, they overcame that big hurdle. And super kind of competitive division, they can't afford to fall into a random trap game against the Lions. And I don't think they will fall into it. I think they're going to get the win, and I think they're going to do it big here. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I have the Ravens also. It's kind of like facing what the Cardinals are facing this week in the Jacksonville Jaguars. But at least they have a coach that doesn't get out-coached by himself. Okay? So, I think that Baltimore has a really easy win. If Detroit stops Lamar, then they stop the offense. So if Detroit stops them, get the dub. If they can't, well, then you just lose to Lamar, which is not too bad to lose to. Our next matchup is the New England Patriots versus the New Orleans Saints. Jack?
I'm going to go with the Saints here. Mainly because I understand they kind of got handled by the Panthers. But overall, as someone that had to watch that New England game last week, Zach Wilson had 3 picks in the first half, and at halftime it was a 10-point game. They really don't have a lot of offense. Mac Jones hasn't done anything sensational. He's just being very good at throwing short and mid-range. And overall, I think the Saints offense, unlike the Jets offense, will be able to capitalize on that for the most part. And overall, I think Mac may have a little more struggles against the Saints here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta go with... I think I'm gonna have to say the Patriots for this one. I think that's gonna be close. Their defense is gonna win out, and also my co-hosts have been saying that I haven't been going with enough hot takes like I usually do. So I'm gonna go with one here. The Patriots are gonna win, but it's not gonna be because of Mac Jones' playing ability. It's gonna be because their defense can lock up Jameis Winston just long enough to make sure that Mac Jones can throw the game-winning touchdown. So, give me the Patriots here in a win at... Are they home or away? I think that they're home. Yeah, they're home. They're going to win Foxborough. So, give me the Patriots here. Zach?
Oh, yeah, oops. I'm sorry. Mine is the Saints. The Saints are... I think their defense is really underrated. They know how to stop someone like Aaron Rodgers. I think that they can stop Mac Jones, which is a rookie, and he's shown flaws already in his game. I know he's not thrown a pick yet, but he might throw a pick on the Saints game. So I still believe in Mac Jones to be a really solid QB in this league if he can keep throwing checkdowns. But I think the Saints, offensive-wise, can beat the Patriots' defense. I don't think that Mac Jones can handle the Saints' defense. So I have the Saints because of their defense. All right, our next matchup is the Atlanta Falcons versus the New York Giants. Jack?
I'm going to go with the Giants here. Now, this is the part of the Giants season where they're going to beat up on a pretty bad team and pretend like everything's okay, which is my bet. Atlanta, they did better against Tampa, to their credit, but overall, there's a lot of jobs on the line in the Giants. It's not their home opener. I think they already had one at home, but they're going back to MetLife at home. Atlanta's traveling, going down 0-2, and I stand by it. I think Atlanta's going to be one of the worst teams in the league. I think they have a chance to get Spencer Rattler. Ultimately, I see the Giants coming off on top. on strong defensive performance and maybe some offensive electricity from Daniel Jones and maybe Kenny Golladay. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I'm kind of getting bad at choosing the same thing as you, but I agree. I think the Giants will get the win. Now, I do think that there's going to be some really key players that Atlanta is going to show off this week, like Matt Ryan, Kyle Pitts, AJ Terrell. There's going to be really good playmakers on that team, but the team itself cannot beat a team like the Giants or like a playoff team in the Rams or anybody like that, or the Bucks, which they face 2 times a year. So I think that the Falcons will lose, but they will have like game changers like Kyle Pitts starting to step into a bigger role, especially against a weaker offense in the Giants, except for their pass rush. Josh?
Well, I gotta go with the Giants here. So, I think that the Giants will probably win. I know that I don't like whenever we sweep on a team, but like Jack said, I think Atlanta's going to be one of the worst teams this year. I think they're actually going to be worse than the Texans. They're probably going to be like 31st or 32nd in the power rankings by the end of the year, while the Texans will be like 25th. So, to all those bettors out there, good job. You lost in betting. So, Atlanta is going to not have a good team this year. We'll probably be on track to Spencer Rattler. And the Giants, I saw enough good stuff that I'm going to choose them for this. Of course, they lost because Darius Slayton has no hands and can't catch a touchdown pass. But they did show a lot of good things that are on their team whenever they did have the ball. And when Daniel Jones was on, he was on. So I got to give it to the New York Giants here.
Alright, our next matchup is the LA Rams versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll be taking this one. I have the Rams. The Rams have had a really good season right now, and they have beat playoff teams that were projected to be playoffs this year, and the Bears and the Colts, and I think that they can beat Tampa. Matthew Stafford's been looking amazing. Cooper Kupp has been making amazing plays, and they have Robert Woods, and it's Deshaun Jackson, because Alshon Jeffrey plays for the Patriots, so it's Deshaun Jackson. Am I right about that one?
Alshon Jeffrey doesn't play for the Patriots.
Oh, I got Deshaun Jackson, so it doesn't matter.
But yeah, you're right with the one that mattered. Deshaun Jackson.
Let's go. I'm so smart. So yeah, and their defense is gonna hopefully stop Brady. I know that Mike Evans won't be good in fantasy, so Jack, you probably shouldn't have Mike Evans in fantasy this week. Yeah, and then I just think LA is really good. So yeah, Jack.
I'm gonna go Bucks. Well, I think the Rams should maybe even be favored to win the game. I want to be a little different from Zach because this is such a close matchup, and overall, I believe in the Bucks a lot. I like their receivers. I think Jalen Ramsey can completely shadow Mike Evans, meaning Chris Godwin, not O.J. Howard. Who's their starting? Gronk. That's who I was missing. Gronk. I think even Rojo maybe has a nice game. I think we have a really entertaining Sunday game here, but I think the Bucks will come out on top. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta say that I gotta hand it to the Buccaneers here, just like Jack said, because I think that the Bucks will really, because they've had a beat-up matchup while the Rams have had to face the Colts, which they barely beat, by the way. The Colts, who have Carson Wentz, who sprained both of his ankles, who can't even walk anymore because he sprained both of them. And they're going up against a team that just beat the Falcons 45-14, I think was the final score. So, give it to Brady and the Bucks here. They are winning this game.
All right. Our next matchup is the Seattle Seahawks versus the Minnesota Vikings. I hate going first a lot, and I have to go first for the next 2 ones. And I have the Seattle Seahawks beating the Minnesota Vikings. I can see a Vikings win. They played really well against the Cardinals, and if they just had a little bit. It was wide right. It was left. Wide left. If it went a little bit more to the right, it would have been a field goal. Cardinals would be 1-1. So I don't care about that. It's a lot of luck that goes into football sometimes, and I think that the Cardinals are just a better, more lucky team. So yeah, but I don't think the Seahawks will lose 2 times. So I think the Seahawks will come back and beat the Vikings. All right, Jack, because he had Jamal Adams for a little bit.
I'm going with my upset here. I'm going to pick the Vikings. Though I've been incredibly disappointed with the Vikings over the last 2 weeks because they're creative in the way to make their fans miserable with their kicker. I watched Derrick Henry kill the Seahawks. Absolutely run them over like a bulldozer. And I can't see why Dalvin Cook can't do the same thing in front of the Minnesota faithful. So I'm going to pick the Vikings here. I think Seattle's run defense is going to hurt them once again. They always play uncomfortably close, these two teams, but I think this time the Vikings are going to come out on top and attempt to not fall 0-3 here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta give it to the Vikings too because I saw Derrick Henry last week and he was just running over the Seahawks defense. And the Seahawks, I like to say, have the NFC West syndrome, where basically whenever they're playing a good team, they play up to the good team standards. Whenever they're playing to a bad team, a lot of the NFC West teams like to play down to their opponent, make the games close, and then barely eke out a win or lose a game that they're not supposed to. So I think here the Seahawks are going to play down to their opponent, just like they did the Titans whenever they were leading and choked away the lead. And their defense is going to make huge mistakes at the end, and their offense isn't going to keep scoring, so they're going to lose against the Vikings because Dalvin Cook will go off.
All right. Did everyone say their take just to make sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. Okay, so our next matchup is the Niners versus the Packers. We'll go again. Sorry I keep going, guys. But yeah, that's basically our rules. I have the Packers here. I think the Niners are very overrated right now. They are the most overrated 2-0 team that I have seen. They were 2-0. Yeah. I think the Niners are not a good team. Their coach literally has not been starting Brandon Ayuk, and he is a really good, talented wide receiver that needs to play. I think the Packers have been looking. They didn't look good against the Saints. I don't want to talk about that game, but they look really good against the Lions. I know the Lions are really easy to play, but the Niners have been facing no good opponents and almost losing to them. So, how they both played against the Lions, the Packers played a lot better against the Lions than the Niners did. So I have the Packers. Jack?
I also have to go with the Packers. I don't really like the Niners right now. I get they're 2-0, but I don't like it. I don't like what they've been doing. Overall, between the running backs are just completely dead. All 4 of them are gone pretty much, and they're down to like a 5th stringer. Jason Verrett's gone, so Devontae Adams is going to have a slot cornerback on him, because that's the Niners' second best corner talent-wise. That won't be fun. And overall, I think the Packers, they're just going to keep winning here. I don't trust the Niners. I feel like they haven't done anything convincingly yet. Their strength of their team, which is their strong run game through their big O-line, is pretty much destroyed, and I think a good team is finally going to expose them. What are your thoughts, Josh?
Gotta go with the Packers here too because the Niners, they haven't looked good. They almost let Detroit beat them, and they almost lost to Philly in a 17-11 game. So I cannot trust the Niners, especially with all their injury problems. This is a fallen dynasty, people. This could have been something great, but injuries have unfortunately derailed this dynasty. So give me the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football here.
Wait, no. That's pretty bad. Okay. All Our next matchup is the LA Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm finally not starting for once. It's going to be...
I'm gonna pick the Chiefs. I thought about it. I thought about it for a second. That could be a potential upset, but overall, I just think the Chiefs, they had a really tough loss to stomach in Baltimore on Sunday night. That was really hard for them. Lamar Jackson backflipped on them, and they haven't lost in September in like 6 years. Like, that's not fun. They're going to rebound in front of the Arrowhead faithful this week. And the Chargers, they're in a bit of a hole because of their schedule, but I think they'll be able to crawl out of it at some point. But ultimately, I can't see the Chiefs dropping 2 in a row. I can't remember the last time they've dropped 2 in a row. It had to have been a long time. Mahomes is going to rebound in front of the home crowd. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I have the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to have a bounce back from losing to the Cowboys. Now, that Cowboys game was a lot of ref ball. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you can agree. There was a play where wait, why did I just say Mac Jones? Shoot. Justin Herbert. He ran and he scrambled and he threw the ball away. They called it a sack. And that makes no sense. Yeah, there's just a lot of bad calls by the refs that really messed up the Chargers, and they should have won against the Cowboys. I think that they're going to be really mad, and they're going to put it all on the Chiefs. Josh?
I gotta say the Chiefs are winning here because, well, I do believe that they will split the series. I think that both teams will take their respective home games, especially with September Chiefs. I can't really go against them. I know they lost a game, but now we have angry Mahomes. It's like angry Aaron Rodgers, but worse and younger. So, yeah, give me the Kansas City Chiefs here.
All right, our next matchup is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Take this one.
Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to go with a Steelers bounce back. I don't know about the Bengals. I feel very confused when I watch them. They were relatively competitive against the Bears, but ultimately Joe Burrow threw 3 picks because of a certain man breathing down his neck the entire day for the Bears and Khalil Mack. I think TJ Watt, if he's healthy, is going to be able to do the same thing. Steelers lost to the Raiders, kind of bad, but they had a lot of injuries. They're going to get Joe Hayden and Devin Bush back. They're going to be ready for a bounce-back week here. I think they're going to be able to take it out on Cincinnati's mediocre O-line here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta go with the Steelers too because the Cincinnati Bengals are 1-15-1 on the road since 2019. To just put that into perspective, that's the lowest winning percentage in the NFL right now. I can't go with the Bengals on the road. I can't go with the Bengals at home. And also, the Steelers want a bounce-back win here. They just lost to a team that shouldn't have beat them in the first place. So they are going to be upset. And they're going to come into Heinz Field and completely destroy the Bengals here. Because they're starting to get some of their starters back healthy. So give me these Steelers here. Zach?
At the Steelers also. I think that the Steelers-Raiders game was really weird, and they're both very underperforming teams. Now, the Bengals are a very much underperforming team, so I think that the Steelers have a good win, and this will... They're not winning the division right now. They are winning the division, so if they win this game, the predictions are right for me. What's their face? The Steelers will be winning, so that's going to be kind of cool. Our next matchup is the Tennessee Titans versus the Indianapolis Colts. Josh?
Okay, I gotta go with the Indianapolis Colts here. And you may be saying, Josh, you're an idiot. Why are you going with the Colts even though half their roster is injured? Because of one big thing. I've seen this stuff, and what I see is that the Colts usually win on the road. It doesn't matter what their lineup says. They usually beat the Titans on the road, and the Titans usually beat them on the road. It's a weird thing with AFC South teams. They usually beat each other on the road, except for the Jaguars, because no one likes the Jaguars. And the Jaguars suck every single year, besides that one year with Saxonville where they ran the entire division. So, give me the Indianapolis Colts winning this one. Zach, what's your take?
I have the Titans. I think the Titans against the Cardinals looked not the best, but against the Seahawks, an even worse opponent, which, in my opinion, played really well. And I think the Colts are even worse than the Seahawks, which these bars that I'm setting for these guys are not, like, this is Seahawks, like, Cardinals. I think Cardinals are a little bit on top, and then this is, like, Seahawks. Like, they're really close to each other. All these guys are playoff teams, but I just think having Carson Wentz might not be able to even walk. I don't think that Tennessee is not gonna lose here. So yeah, Tennessee. Jack.
I also have to go Titans here, mainly just because I like a Colts upset realistically, but I don't know what Carson Wentz is. If Carson Wentz is out there, he's probably not that healthy. Because, he sprained both of his ankles on the same play, which is ridiculous in its own right. So, either way, you're either getting an injured Carson Wentz or you're getting a Jacob Easton. I don't think that bodes well for the Colts here. I think they're going to have a lot of trouble overall against the Titans. I think the Colts could theoretically contain Derrick Henry to a certain extent. That if Carson Wentz would be healthy, I think they would have won. But overall, Carson Wentz's lack of healthiness is going to be the downfall of the Colts here. I'm taking the Titans.
All right, our next matchup is the New York Jets versus the Denver Broncos. Am I right about that one?
Yeah.
Damn. Jack, go ahead.
I'll go with the Broncos. I think the Jets will play better than they did last week, but they're on the road. The Broncos have been relatively impressive. Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, that group. Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams. They got a lot of offensive firepower. That's very impressive. I think they're going to be the first team that has a chance to take advantage of the Jets' young secondary because, Donald really couldn't do it. He threw a lot of things to CMC, and Mac Jones doesn't throw farther than 5 yards. But this week, I think Teddy Bridgewater has the opportunity to kind of exploit the Jets' secondary, theoretically, and maybe show that they are young and they are going to have trouble against good receiving teams, plus the Denver air, even though, to Zach Wilson's credit, he lives in that area, or he used to, the higher altitude, so he'll do slightly better, but I'm still giving it to the Broncos here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta go with the the Denver Broncos here. What I was gonna say about the New York Jets is they're basically the opposite of the September Chiefs. You never choose the Jets to win in New York. Well, you really never choose the Jets to really win anywhere, but you don't choose them to win in September. Did I say New York? Whoopsies. This show is filmed live. Mistakes do happen. So I got the Broncos here because they're 2-0. They're looking good. And the Jets, a person who didn't even hit puberty yet, broke down your team in one play in the Zach Wilson interception to Corey Davis that bobbled out of Corey Davis's hands into the other corner's hands. If a person who hasn't even hit puberty yet is breaking down your team and telling you that you suck, you probably suck at your job. So give me the Denver Broncos here by a lot. The Jets, they're going to have bounce back, but it is not going to be in September. It has never been in September. They have 11 straight games that they've lost in September. So never go with September Jets. Give me the Denver Broncos here. Zach?
I have the Broncos. Their secondary is one of the best in the league, and their defense, especially their pass rush with Von Miller. I don't know about Bradley Chubb. I don't know what his deal is right now, but he's not playing too well, or if even on the field. But other than that, I think this Broncos team is a really solid team on defense, and Teddy Bridgewater is finally a really solid QB, and he's been better than he was on the Panthers. I think the Jets can actually, there's a way that they can win, and that's if Zach Wilson plays really well. But against this secondary, I don't think that he can beat this Broncos team. So, I got the Broncos. Our Our next matchup is the Miami Dolphins. Excuse me. Versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Heck.
I'm going to go with the Raiders here. I think they finally turned the corner. Now, I'm so terrified I'm speaking too soon, but I think there's really a chance that the Raiders may actually be a good team this year because they've been very impressive on offense, not to mention no Tua, which is not going to help the Dolphins' case. Overall, the Raiders have been getting better and better. They've beat some impressive teams so far, and I think they're going to keep it up. Going back to Vegas, they're going to get a W here. But do not be surprised if the Dolphins win, because this is about the time of the year. The Raiders have some 2 impressive upsets under their belts. They're going to lose to a team they're favored to win. It's kind of their thing. But I think the Raiders have turned the page on the old Raiders. They're off to the new Raiders. They're going to be competitive this year. What are your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, never trust the Raiders. They'll always lose some game. I'm going with the Dolphins here. The Dolphins have won 7 of their 8 last matchups with Las Vegas. So, give me the Dolphins here. Last time it was ruined by a Hail Mary thrown by Fitzpatrick. Now it's going to be ruined by the backup quarterback of the Dolphins winning the game in some heroic fashion. So, give me the Dolphins here. Zach?
I have the Dolphins here, and I screwed up on the predictions. Let's go. I have the Dolphins. Oh wait, no, not Dolphins, Raiders. Jeez, you're talking about the Dolphins so much. I said Dolphins. Okay. I have the Raiders. Raiders have a really solid team. I think Derek Carr is leading the league in passing yards, and that's really impressive for having Henry Ruggs on your team, which I don't know if he's good or anything, but he doesn't look like it. So I think that that the Raiders will win. So yeah. And then our next matchup is it Cowboys Eagles that's ending us off?
Yep.
Alright, cool. Cowboys Eagles, Josh, take it away.
I gotta go with the Cowboys here. The Cowboys usually win at home, and also this Cowboys team is actually looking pretty lethal this year. So I gotta say, giving the Dallas Cowboys winning this matchup here. I think Hurts will have a good game, but the Cowboys defense will just be too strong to face. So I'm gonna answer one off to Jack.
I am going to go with the Cowboys here. The Eagles haven't looked great. They destroyed the Falcons, which is expected. The Falcons are probably my worst team in the league when it's all said and done. And overall, the Cowboys, they didn't explode against the Chargers like I thought they would offensively. But still, I think they have enough firepower to get through the Eagles here. They're going to win. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I think the Eagles can actually get a dub here because I don't think is Amari Cooper playing? I don't know if he is. He's questionable still. He might not be. I know that Gallup's not playing. If Amari's not playing, that leaves CeeDee Lamb on that offense. And you're not counting Zeke. He's not been really good. It's only Dak and CeeDee if Amari's not playing. And then that means Darius Slay can cover CeeDee Lamb. If Amari's there, then CeeDee Lamb gets to go off, which is fine. I still think the Eagles have a chance on beating just because of the horrible defensive play by the Cowboys. It's been looking solid right now, but I think Eagles will know how to break that defense with this team. So I got the Eagles. Well, that does it for our video today. If you liked it, what do they do, Josh?
Yeah, if you like what you saw here, don't forget to hit that like button because that helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. And hit that subscribe button if you like what we do here. Or don't. I don't really care. But, if you want to hit that like button, it really helps us with the algorithm. So thank you for watching to this point. Thank you all for being a part of the Frontline Football family. And thank you for enjoying our content week in and week out. And I've been Josh from Frontline Football, and Jack, hit the plugs.
As always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, right? Nope, other way. They're right there. Our other links will be in the description, and we'll see you guys back here next week for more predictions.
See ya.
Yeah.